Welcome to Dawgs versus All Y'all, a weekly college football podcast where we discuss not only my favorite team, the Georgia Bulldogs, but we talk all things college football, hence all y'all. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and look us up on Instagram at Suplex Dinner Club. And go Dogs. Yo, welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another episode. You know we got to talk about this Georgia-Auburn game. High drama, action-packed, a lot closer than what a lot of us had predicted. The main reason why we won, simply put, Brock Bowers. I'm here to tell y'all, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Brock Bowers is him. And of course, we got to update the hunting season 12. But before we get started, I want to say shout out to returning listeners. I greatly appreciate it. Shout out to new subscribers to the YouTube. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. We have some new listeners on our Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. So shout out to you guys. We're trying to grow a community where we could talk college football. So shout out to the people. The number one team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs, barely escaped Auburn, Alabama, undefeated. Auburn brought the fight to them. And even though I'm seeing a lot of people complaining about the quality of that Auburn team, I'm here to tell y'all there was a level of adversity introduced to that Georgia team that will only help them. It will only help them. Georgia gifted Auburn 2 touchdowns, one in the first half and one immediately starting the second half. A lot of teams wouldn't be able to rebound from that. A lot of teams will give up. A lot of teams will quit. There's something about that level of composure on that team. Yes, a number of those players on this year's team were in the national championship game last year. They were a part of the national championship game 2 years ago. But a majority of those players weren't key contributors. A number of those players, this is their first year starting, are really getting the spotlight. So that says something. That says something about what's going on in those 4 walls of the Georgia football program. You find yourself down double digits going into the second half, but you guys put everything together and you figure out a way to win. That's very unique in college football. That's very unique in competition or sport. Those Alabama teams of old, that's the way that I view those teams. You could have those guys down, you could have those guys out, but they would always find a way to win. They would always find a way to conquer. And I'm seeing that of this Georgia team. I'm seeing that of that DNA. Are we leaving this game with questions defensively? I am. We basically knew what Auburn was going to do going into this game. They're so inept of passing the ball, we knew they were going to run it. But our defense had a struggle when it came to stopping the run. And that's a little concerning, especially going into this weekend's matchup against Kentucky, another undefeated SEC team. Do I still have faith in the Georgia team? Of course. I'm a lifelong Georgia fan, but I'm a very realistic Georgia fan. I'm very confident in this team's abilities. I'll tell you, I'm leaving this game more encouraged about what this team is capable of. They've seen adversity in back-to-back SEC games. And where other teams would fold or quit or cower, these guys stepped up. The biggest takeaway of this game, of this win, the biggest takeaway of this win is Brock Bowers is him. Simple as that. 8 catches, 157 yards, and a game-winning touchdown. A couple one-handed grabs. This dude's unreal. He is now tied with the great A.J. Green, second most career receiving touchdowns. Quite an accomplishment early in his third season with the team. You see, one thing about Brock Bowers, he gives you that all shucks personality, which makes it very hard not to cheer for him. But the dude is outworking everybody. You could just see the level of intensity and effort that he puts in each game. From his first game as a freshman all the way now, going into his junior year, which I'm more than confident this will be his final season because it's time to go get paid, Brock. Go get paid. Go get paid. The guy is unreal, man. He's unreal. Check out what Malachi Starks had to say about Bowers.
I said earlier, I don't think he's real. He's very special. Just being on the same team with him, I'm very grateful. I get to go against him every day. It makes me better, and I make him better. So just to see what he does is just incredible.
And the funny part about this is that Malachi himself is a freak. He's gonna be a first-round pick in a few seasons. He's gonna be a millionaire. One of the most talented safety prospects in college football right now. And he's giving that level of high praise to Brock Bowers. Georgia fans, appreciate number 19. I know you already love him. I see the jerseys. Hell, I got one myself. We got to not just appreciate the talent of Bowers, but we got to appreciate the effort and determination of that guy. Super impressive. And I'm just glad that he has the G on. If you haven't already, look us up on socials at Suplex Dinner Club. That's the home of 2 podcast projects that I work on. Mondays, Fridays, we talk college football on Dawgs versus All Y'all. We don't just talk about Georgia football. We talk about all things college football, hence All Y'all. And on Wednesdays, you know the vibes, Life and Times Pod, which is short for the Life and Times of a Restaurant Lifer podcast, where I have conversations with some cool and interesting people that I've met through my years in the hospitality industry. Let me know down below, what team are you representing? The Suplex Dinner Club family is growing, and I want to know more about you guys. After this close scare in Auburn, is Georgia still the number 1 team in the nation? Let's check out the list.
We ain't getting hunted, guys. We're doing the hunting, and hunting season's almost over. We only got one more chance to hunt, and we hunted tonight.
We're going to start from 12 and work our way up. Welcome back, Alabama, to the hunting season 12. They took care of business, took care of Mississippi State. They got a huge matchup, and we're going to preview that on Friday's episode against Texas A&M. But for the time being, Alabama, you're back on the list as number 12. Speaking of huge matchups, number 11, Oklahoma. You guys are going to be going into the next 2 weeks with a lot of talk, a lot of heat, a lot of excitement going to the Red River Shootout where you're facing the Texas Longhorns. Go ahead and take care of business, and you got a pathway to the playoff. Number 10, Notre Dame. Next, you have 3 Pac-12 teams, all with stars at quarterback. You got Washington, Oregon, and USC. Speaking of USC, they got to figure out something about this defense. They went into Boulder, Colorado. There was blood in the water. That game looked like it was going to get out of hand, but halftime happened. And Coach Prime got that team together, got them motivated to keep fighting, and they fought back and almost won that game. So USC, y'all got to figure something else. Y'all got to figure something out about this defense. You brought in transfers. You brought in talent. You have talent. They're getting pressure on the quarterback. I will give them that statistically. They're doing what they need to do. But with some key matchups moving ahead, you got Notre Dame. You got that Oregon matchup, you got Washington. You got a matchup against Washington. You got to get that defense together if you're planning on making that playoff run. Because Caleb's playing out of his mind right now. He is playing out of his mind. So shout out to Caleb. He threw 6 touchdowns this past weekend. Nuts. All right, and top 6 in the nation. Number 6, Penn State, followed by Ohio State. Number 4 team, Texas Longhorns, took care of a Kansas rival. They gave them hell the past couple years, but they took care of business, and they move on as my number 4 team in the nation. Number 3 is going to be Florida State, followed by number 2, Michigan. We're going to really see what this team has going into Big Ten play. I'm really interested to see that, these matchups that they have. And the number 1 team still, despite having this battle with Auburn, despite finding themselves behind, they are still the number 1 team in the nation. We got a huge test with Kentucky coming into Athens this weekend. We're going to quickly preview it on Friday. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to this slugfest because this is always one of those physical games. And honestly, I'm really hoping Georgia comes to play. Should Georgia still be the number 1 team in the nation? I'm seeing a lot of people questioning things, including myself. Should they still be considered the number 1 team in the nation? And if Georgia's not number 1, who should be the number 1 team in the nation? Let us know in the comments down below. All right, y'all, that's a wrap on episode 24. Thanks again for checking us out. Come back on Friday. We're not only going to preview the must-see game of the week, but we're going to talk about undefeated Kentucky coming to Athens, Georgia to face the undefeated Georgia Bulldogs. We're going to preview it, predict it. Y'all know how I do. We'll see you on Friday. Have a wonderful week. And as always, go Dogs.
Your ass is prepared for this shit for fucking 365 days. I think about the fucking in that locker room. Think about getting our opportunity. All the shit you went through this week to get ready for this game. Now is when you pay the fucking price. You go out there with energy, enthusiasm. Hey, now, ain't nobody supposed to be cautious. Ain't nobody supposed to be nervous about shit. Go out here and fuck their ass up. Don't think about scoreboard. Don't think about shit. You think about knocking the shit out of them. Did you hear what Box said on Monday? When I sat in that fucking meeting, I wanted to go fucking play right then. Tore your shit up out here. 2 years ago, fuck your shit up. Goddamn pride and joy tells me you fuck these guys up. You go play the right way. You play the right way. You knock their ass off. You stay off the fucking ground. You tackle the fucking man with the ball. The shit's easy. Play the right shit. Punish their ass on offense and kick their ass on special teams, guys. It's about who the fuck we are. I believe in you. Let's go.